Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. I had a lot of fun there talking to Clay Talley about not only fishing over at Pickwick Lake, but also his lock and load gun stores that have been going crazy as far as ammunition and things along that line. And I wanted to fill some spots because you need to stick around for this show, folks. Just get your coffee, get ready, because we're going to talk a lot of fishing, not only just because I like to hear it here in the springtime. Yes, we did have tornadoes roll through here today. Yes, we do have COVID-19 to deal with. But we got some guys on the show today that not only are part of the fishing industry, but man, who can close the show out with the CEO of BASF? Not many people can. So stick around. Stick around for Bruce Aiken. But let's start this roll right now with Clifford Pirch. I mean, here's a guy that I've looked forward to talking to. Ron Wong has talked to him. We got some pictures out there from Clifford during his amazing career. But let's talk to him.
Here at the most recent Bassmaster Classic, too.
Yes, well, down from Payson, Arizona, let's talk to Clifford Pirch. Good morning, Clifford.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Man, I've watched videos of you. I've done all this kind of stuff. And I've got to ask you, and Emily said that, how you handling this with no tournaments?
Well,
are you getting closer to your kids? Kaylee and Cassidy? Is that right?
they're teenage girls, though. I'll tell you what, it's funny. They used to like to when Dad was around, but
yeah.
It's gotten to be where they just soon me not be around. So yeah, it's a funny time. But yeah, I'll tell you how bad it is. They used to love to go fishing and hunting with me and hiking, looking for elk horns, and that's what I've been doing a lot of lately is looking for elk horns because I'm not usually home that much this time of year. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Look for those sheds.
I bought my first boat and first truck when I was about 17 or 16 with that, and it's a fun thing. But the other day I glassed up a great big brown 6-point.
Yes.
About a quarter mile away.
Yeah.
And there was another bull there, still had one horn on, nice 6-point. And so I thought, well, I'm going to sneak out of here. I'm going to go home, tell the girls, and we'll come back and go, I already know where there's a horn, so we're going to go back pick. And I thought I'd seen one other possibly there.
Yeah.
So I came home, and I couldn't even talk them into going with me.
They didn't want to go.
They didn't even want to go. And I guess I've burned them out over the years, but they missed out. I went back in, and I found 4 6-points from different bulls, all 4 different bulls.
Oh, man.
And turned out I had one match that I'd found about 2 weeks ago from one of them, and then the other couple are still out there.
So you're out there looking for elk sheds while you're in what we call social distancing. You're in quarantine, but when you're in Arizona, I don't imagine there's too many people around you when you're looking for sheds, are there? I mean,
no, it's pretty remote. And I have seen a few footprints because I think there's a lot of folks out of work, or out, they just got a little more time than normal. And so I've seen a few footprints, but in general, no, you don't run into anybody, and it's been a really fun thing. I love to get to know all the country around, and that's kind of how I've gotten just really, really familiar with where the elk are at and how they move all year by looking for horns my whole life.
But you didn't think
it's just a fun thing. It's a weird thing to be able to do, but for me,
it's not weird.
I get to enjoy what I love. So I'm a little bit. I feel bad a little bit because I'm actually enjoying the time, and that's not really that's not really the norm. A lot of folks are having to suffer through it, and it is a serious deal, and I hurt for the folks that it's really hitting home. Or if you live in a city in tight quarters, life has really been upended. So it's a crazy time.
Well, you live in anybody that went to northern Arizona, one of my favorite places to go, Flagstaff and all the area up there and Sedona and all the places. I got good friends in Phoenix, but I know growing up, I read about your wrestling career. You mentioned your dad earlier, Dennis, legendary wrestling coach up there. You did all this different kind of things. You actually, this is true. You know, I'm watching Hunt for the Red October the other night, and they're trying to get Alec Baldwin on that submarine out of the top of that helicopter. And I understand you actually have you gone out of a helicopter before?
Yeah, you know, for about 6 summers out of high school, I was on a helitack crew
Oh,
with the Wildland firefighter crew, and we used to rappel into remote areas and fight wildfires. So it's pretty unique summer job for an 18 to 24-year-old kid, and it was kind of fun times. But
that was
I've seen
part
some
of
wild stuff, and it was intense a time or two, but it was a neat job for a young guy.
Well, I know, and Ron knows this, and John's going to find out about this. You're a pretty amazing guy, Clifford. I know you're kind of you're not going to talk about yourself or anything like this, but dealing with MS, I've had relatives with that. You've been able to deal with that. You're a competitor. You've kept your faith, and not afraid to show your faith. But talk about, you know, from the age of when you started this, I'm not mistaken, you were real young. And then in 2000, things kind of changed for you. So talk about that. And I know you don't mind sharing your story because it's really an inspiration to a lot of us.
Well, you know, first of all, I think I'm kind of one of the fortunate ones because it has hit other folks a lot harder and maybe at different times in their life a little harder than it has me. So I'm fortunate that a lot of these things have kind of receded or kind of, you know, off and on. I've had issues, but it could have been a lot worse.
Could have been, couldn't it?
I ended up, what's that?
Yeah, I know it could have been, yes.
Yeah, well, and, you know, like I said, I just feel real fortunate that I'm able to do what I do and be able to see well. You know, when I was I think it was about 2000, you know, we were fishing some team tournaments. I fished a team tournament every weekend somewhere in Arizona, and it was the first Angler of the Year title me and my buddy won. And it was a big circuit in Arizona. Back at the time, it was the All-Star Circuit, and that was the biggest one going. And,
yeah.
And we were at the final tournament at the award ceremony, and I noticed my balance was odd. And a couple times that day I had just been standing, you know, fishing or standing in one spot, and all of a sudden I felt like I was kind of falling or leaning, and I thought, boy, I don't know what's going on, but that was odd. And you know, shortly after I had lost some of my vision in my left eye, and it started to get darker and darker and darker. Pretty soon it looked like I was, you know, looking through a straw or something, and I really couldn't see anything, and it just got to where I lost the vision in my left eye, and,
wow,
you know, I just had some crazy things go haywire and ended up going to the hospital, you know, after that time frame.
You thought it was over.
Heat stroke. And,
you thought it was.
It just really wasn't looking real good, and you know, they found out it was MS, and, you know, probably some other things going on with that, you know, what it does is it reduces your immune system to where other things can really affect you. So I think there was multiple things going on and you know, a couple trips to the hospital when things went kind of wild on me. And, you know, it took me out for quite a while. So I you know,
but
I feel really blessed to be able to kind of function at the level I do now, because a lot of those things came back with, you know, a little better diet. And,
better diet, vitamin supplements, kind of exercise. I understand that you've had to do. And again, we're talking to Clifford Pirch. Amazing story about his abilities and the way he has not only come back. And we'll talk the fishing side here, because I got you with 87 tournaments, 66 times in the money. That's not bad, is it, Ron?
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, 26 top 20 finishes, and the man has won over $700,000. So Clifford, you got to feel blessed, right?
Well, I am. Yeah, like I said, I really feel fortunate to be able to make a living doing what I'm doing, and I wouldn't say it was a wise way to try to make a living, but somehow it's worked out. You know what I mean? It's been a neat deal.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of what I was made for.
And was that something? You know, after you'd done all these things, you were a wrestler in all these state championships and things along that line. that fishing in the background, was that there? I mean, did you ever dream that you would be?
Oh yeah. No, when I was in first grade or second grade, I can remember people asking what I was going to do, and it was going to be something to do with fishing and fish, and or outdoors and stuff, and duck hunting and everything else I loved at the time. I was positive that was the direction I was headed, and and I always loved fishing and doing lots of things in the outdoors. Fortunately, my dad took me along,
yes,
time I could walk, and even in a backpack, I've got pictures where we were hiking a trout stream or duck hunting or dove hunting or deer hunting or something, So I was fortunate to grow up that way, but I always loved it too. My brother really wasn't into it. He'd just soon be on his Game Boy and give him a heads up when it was time to pull the trigger on an elk, or something like that. But he really didn't get into it, but I just had a love for it, and it's something I just never could get away from. I really do love fishing and being in the outdoors.
Well, we got a couple of minutes here.
Clifford,
ask him, because we got 2 minutes, Ron. Ask Clifford a question.
Clifford, one of the things I noticed about your boat is that you run a Suzuki motor.
Yeah.
And from everything that I have read, and I've been in boats with people that have Suzukis on, that is one phenomenal motor, isn't it? I mean, it's like so dependable and reliable that they're even building a plant now, I think, in Florida because of the sales and the reputation of the Suzuki. Tell our listeners a little bit about you running a Suzuki and making that decision to do it.
Well, yeah, I've just seen and heard nothing but great things, and while I didn't know a lot about it before I went that direction, I started to understand that it took reliability. The Suzuki guys have taken reliability to a whole new level, and as I talk to commercial guys and saltwater guys, they're killing the saltwater market. The freshwater guys are a little bit behind, but they're going to figure it out that, if you want something that's going to last way, way down the road, beyond that second season or whatever you're doing, they do take reliability to a whole new level. And it's just been great. The people that I work with there have been fantastic. And, the engine, I've got just the most confidence I could possibly have with it. So it's awesome. You can't hear it running. There's been a couple times where I stood up and I heard some water drizzling back there and realized, oh, dang, I thought I turned it off, but I didn't, So it's really a neat engine. And like I said, I love working with the guys there. And I think they've got great things to come. And like you said, it's blowing up in that southeast coast and some of that northwest coastal saltwater stuff, and hopefully bass fishermen start to figure that out soon. And it's a great engine.
You figured it out, and we appreciate Clifford. I know folks can go to Facebook. You got a great Facebook page. It's Pirch. Just Google that and find out the information about Clifford. Not only that, but I did say that he's a quietly religious man, and so we appreciate from my standpoint for that. And hang in there, buddy. That's all I'm telling you. It is part of life, and we're going to get through this, and hopefully sooner than later. But thank you for taking time to be on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll let you get back to looking for sheds and trying to find your two kids, wherever they might be, okay?
And I'll see you down the road there at a BASS Elite tournament.
All right, man.
Okay.
Thanks, Clifford.
So thank you, guys.
All right,
we'll talk. Thank you.
We'll talk to you. All right, let's take a break. Outdoors with Larry Ray. John Gordon is hanging on, just waiting to say something. I know he's going to have to. We're going to have to let him. He is the master.
Hey, John can talk.
He's going to be my introduction. I'm saving one for him. Okay. All right. He's got to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a break. Be right back.